Into today's game, Cambert. We got an interesting one going down. First team, the home team. Let me see if I can get this right. West Virginia University, Potomac State College taking on the Ohio State University. How do you feel about this matchup?
Well, I agree with you. That one's a little bit of a mouthful, so we'll see if we might just stick to like WVU to keep it easy on us. But it's going to be a great matchup, and I think when you look at the records of these two teams, OSU undefeated at this point, 2-0. You kind of have to lean their direction, I guess, in terms of predicting who might win this matchup.
Mm-hmm.
We know from speaking with our sources, Proper, appreciate always shouting out Proper, gave us the lowdown a little bit. A very SMG heavy team, so we're going to be looking for that, especially on a map like Garrison. So many nooks and crannies and routes you can run with your submachine gun, and we'll see if WVU can capitalize on that. Can they have the AR play that outweighs that of OSU? Can that be their way of finding their way in this match? But I guess if I'm going to make a prediction, I guess I have to be leaning towards OSU. They're undefeated right now.
You know, that is a very good way to go with it. But let's look at the squad that's about to be taking on OSU. For the side of West Virginia, they got the players of Valley, Kelly, Brufford, and Phantom. And then across from them, these are the guys, as you mentioned, that Proper really let us know about. Cynical, Rush, Dr. Round, and Trev. And why don't you let the people know what Dr. Round, what his bread and butter was, according to our sources?
It sounds like Dr. Round is going to be playing that snake role, getting out, putting together pinches, just being a nuisance in any way possible, being that thorn in the side of WVU, which anybody who plays the game knows those kind of players are really the ones that get in your head throughout the course of a game. And then on the other side of things, I mean, just looking at the statistics, Bruford has that 1.37 KD in hardpoint, also averaging 95 seconds of hill time. So not only the slaying power, but also playing the OBJ. I'm sure that's going to be a player to watch in Bruford.
Yeah, and especially as we're going to be loading into this initial map number 1 on Garrison. What do you like on the Gary hardpoint? What do you expect for these teams to lead out of the gates with?
Yeah, I like Garrison a lot as a map. It's definitely grown on me since the game originally dropped. I mean, obviously that P2 hill is so important, a big money hill, and then the rotation to P3 is huge. P4, P5, a little bit more scrappy. Same with P1, but I mean, in terms of you're looking at money hills, P2, P3, those are the ones where you can really draw a lot of time. You can really soak up the hill. But I mean, submachine guns can run rampant on this map. I mean, there's a lot of different little, like I say, nooks and crannies you can be in. So many hiding places and head glitches. It's good for ARs too. We'll have to see what exactly shakes out here at map 1. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and the one interesting thing to note is even though that OSU is, or Ohio State, I should say, is 2-0, they kind of struggled on the Garrison hardpoint in their last matchup. So that'll be a place to watch. The relatively unknown side of West Virginia Potomac, they have a lot to prove right now. They're got to come up against a big squad and try to come out the gates hot and early as we are ready. Time to load into map number 1, and I'm going to join you right there with the prediction that Ohio State will be coming out on top.
Yeah, it just seems fair. And I think as we get into this first map, what I'm paying attention to is exactly what I said, the rotations. Who can rotate to P2, get their setup in place, that 10, 15 seconds on P1, don't worry about that. Get your rotation over to P2, get your setup down, and you should be able to soak for close to 60 seconds.
Yeah, so that's the thing I've seen a lot of teams sometimes not do what they need to as we are finally in. It is going to be OSU Scarlet up on your top right and WVU up on the top left. Phantom already in on the site, so WVU starting to build up this lead, but Dr. Round right from underneath, exactly what we knew from him. Finding the flank, finding a double kill, and now trying to put on a bit of a spawn trap over onto the WVU members. How about one more for yourself? Already a triple kill to kick things off for Dr. Round until the Semtex finds him.
That is a really great start. Like I say, just being the thorn in the side of WVU there. And I mean, even if you aren't able to get that kill off spawn, you're doing a really good job at slowing down the initial push as we see the rotation to P2 in favor of WVU, and they already have a great setup. So difficult if you're Ohio State here to hit through green, so they're doing the smart thing. They're trying to rotate through bricks. You see Cynical there with the first kill, and a few players jumping into bricks. A big roll right here for Kelly. He's going to fall, and this thing is wide open right now for OSU to retake.
Yeah, here comes the four-man push from OSU from behind. Dr. Round gonna start things off with a kill onto Phantom. 3v1 around the satellite dish, and Rush clears off Valley. So that's a good clean retake out of OSU Scarlet. Still gotta worry about the man up in comms though. Kelly right around the corner, just making sure no one from this OSU squad can rotate. Him and Rush gonna get into a little bit of a firefight, but Cynical cleans it up. Now Phantom around the backside. He is trying to find this pinch, but OSU has already escaped like thieves in the night and trying to make this rotation across the P3. It looks like they're the first squad there.
Yeah, and even though WVU gets broken here, now they're already rotated for P3. They can again try to get a setup in place. It just goes to show how if you can kind of be that first team to rotate, you have the other team playing from behind. And we'll see how this setup works out. As you see, they're already rotated to P3. This hit for OSU is gonna have to come in, and they're doing it in a spread out fashion. Number 5 here, Cynical at the front. He'll be the first line of defense. He falls to Phantom, trades both sides. And we'll see who the spawn goes to. It's still in favor of OSU as they get cleared off the point, but they do have spawn, so it's not easy right now for WVU.
Yeah, even though Phantom never went down in on the site, all of his teammates behind him did, and so spawns get flipped around. There goes a great double kill out of Kelly, though. The other way is Brufford goes in the falls. Trev makes it a double, and Cynical makes it 3 in a row for OSU Scarlet. They retake the site, and with 20 seconds remaining, look to extend a bit of a lead. Phantom around the corner, though, able to get one more. The trade is in, and you see people starting to position around P4. I got eyes on Kelly, already 7 and 5, looking to shut down OSU Scarlet as they rotate across.
Yeah, and again, another situation where WVU has the rotation, but it's just been OSU making these breaks. They're doing a really, really good job communicating, obviously, as a team, and not just running straight at the front of the hill or flooding. They're really orchestrating these hits, and Dr. Round right now, a player that we talked about at the pregame, having an impact, picks up a kill there, will fall to Bruford. WVU just doing anything they can to hold on to this map control. You see players continuing to flood, and more kills in favor of WVU, so far, so good on this P4 hill. And you got Kelly up top holding down the sight lines. It's not looking good for OSU right now, but they have been getting those breaks, so you can't count them out just yet.
Yeah, Kelly has been locked down with this Krig 6. 4 kills on the life thus far, and you gotta remember, this week score streaks are back in play in the CCL, so if people start getting hot, they are priority targets for the other team. You don't want those cruise missiles, you don't want those artillery strikes going against you. Brufford from down underneath, he's gonna get spotted out, picks up the kill onto Dr. Round, though, and rotates back to the support his teammates provide. Looks like WVU will have the position for P5, but very, very close, down within 5 points, the difference between these two squads, and no one has been able to take control of the game quite yet.
It's just been a back and forth affair. Every time WVU can get a setup, they get that first 20 seconds or so, and then OSU comes in for a break. Right now, those are 2 huge kills from Cynical and Trev, and you see Cynical pushing out into lights, knows the spawns are coming through back here, picks up 1 kill, now just holding down those sight lines so his team can get on the hill. One player is going to fall on the hill right now, though, so we'll see if WVU can get the break. 2 big kills come in, and it looks like they're going to be able to do it.
Yeah, I gotta watch out for Rusher on the backside, though. He picks one up onto Kelly. Last man standing is Brufford, goes in the 1v1, and Rush gets 2 big kills to open up the site. So 25 seconds remaining. That is what I consider more than just trash time. Very important for OSU Scarlet to pick these up, since they've kind of felt like the team that is the second getting to these hills time after time. WVU has been very good on their rotations, and you see it again here. A 4-man stack right by P1, looking to reset control, even though they have fallen slightly behind here off the first rotation of hills.
You're absolutely right. OSU is making a living off maybe what you would call trash time, the second half of these hills. That's where they're finding a lot of success, getting breaks. Bruford with a nice slide cancel out to the point there to pick up a kill. Make it 2. Why not 3? Instead, he's going to fall to Rush. The Diamati just not enough there. Rush on 6 HP is just going to try to regen here as his teammates with the ARs pick up kills over the top. Kelly will fall as well as Rush continues this little streak he's on. Make it 6. A kill off those streaks. And we'll see if maybe we can see those in action here for the first time in the CCL. You're absolutely right. You got to have a little bit of a bounty on your head if you're the other team. Make sure that the streak doesn't come through, and that kill from Kelly is absolutely massive to shut down those streaks.
Yeah, but what a turnaround for Rush. He was 6 and 9 going into that life, comes out of it 12 and 0, and OSU Scarlet is really starting to slay positive. Valley going to be the first man out of comms, starting to set up the control for WVU over at Hill 2, but Rush fresh off the respawn, back into the same slaying. Dr. Round having his back, and OSU Scarlet really starting to assert their dominance across the map. This next rotation is going to be big. The Hill and Brufford in the back lines could be everything. Moving in now, a lot of trigger discipline, finally only going to pull it for the first one. 3 quick kills for WVU. Dr. Round, the last man standing, but he is all alone in no man's land, waiting for his teammates to respawn and come help him out.
I love a little bit of good trigger discipline. It might not have came in crucial there, but I just love to see that. Having that it's a difficult skill to have if you're a player, and we see the push now for OSU. It's just so difficult with 30 seconds left. You have to hit those long routes, but you want to get the rotations for P3. They did a really good job of it in the first set of rotations, hitting through brick. That's where they got their break, but as time dwindles down, it's just up to Valley here to continue to hold top comms. The contest comes through, some big kills, and again, it looks like OSU is going to try to make a living off some of this scrap time.
I mean, it's 20 seconds. That's a third of the hill, and WVU is already out, not even contesting it. So I say if this strategy continues, it's going to favor OSU Scarlet. WVU need a solid top to bottom hold of one of these hills to extend that lead in their favor again and go for these early rotations. Rush now pushing in. The 3-man stack just takes the spawns away by force, and WVU is left in a very unforgiving position trying to get back over to P3.
Absolutely, and yeah, if they're giving it to you, just take it, right? Free is free. As we got Dr. Round here at the front of this hill, he's going to have 2 players in contest. They pick up 1 kill, but the trades are there from Cynical. That is absolutely huge. Going to go ahead and jump on the time as these players continue to spawn out by lights. Just feels like you're running a marathon as you try to get back to this P4 hill. The spawns are just so far as the kills continue to come through. The kill feed goes red like a swarm of blood, and now OSU has got this one right where they want it. Just have to go into this final couple of hills and try to hold on here as you find yourself with a nice 50-point lead.
Yeah, and WVU is staying alive purely off the back of Kelly, the only one positive as everyone else tries to stay close. On OSU's side, look at Cynical, and that is the play he's been putting in all day. 27-14, the 7-kill streak, artillery in the back pocket, looking for the cruise missile. I said earlier that no one had taken over the game, but Cynical has all on his own. 1 more kill and finds it. WVU have no answer, down by 60 points.
That is a huge set of streaks right now. This guy is out of now. Someone give him a resupply crate. He needs some scavenger. Still picking up kills with only 10 bullets, and this dude is literally Cynical right now, just going absolutely ham. And I mean, when you get 2 streaks like that, it really puts your team in a good spot. You know you can get at least 1 solid break on a hill if you need it. You have yourself a 60-point advantage right now, but a nice push here from WVU to retake control of this point. They're in a good little setup here. Valley's going to pick up some kills. Kelly will fall, but there's still players on this point. They're soaking up the time. They're bringing this one back. It's more of that scrap time that we're talking about that's keeping teams in this game, but a nice kill from Cynical will get him off the point, and we start to rotate over towards P5 in just a couple seconds.
Right here, right now is where WVU needs to put it all together. They need a solid P5 that connects back into P1. If they give up a break to OSU Scarlet, that could be the end of the game. Still needing 90 points to finish it off. And here it comes. Rush with the streaks. Gets a double kill off of the cruise missile. Phantom and Valley going down with no chance. And the push to follow it up is just a free break out of OSU Scarlet. They only need 30 seconds left, and Dr. Round is in on the point. That 74U has been doing the work. He's only 20-20 overall, but look at his objective time. Just about to cross 2 minutes, and you see it all coming together for OSU in these final moments.
Big couple of kills come through for WVU, but Dr. Round, you're absolutely right. Just a super soaker on the hill at this point. 2 minutes of OBJ time. And you're 20 seconds away from this win. You have to probably scrap this time and start to focus on new. Actually, I mean, this is a huge 15 seconds if you can get it. If you're OSU Scarlet, they're going to go ahead and try. Cynical, might as well just sit down on this point, pick up some of that time, and you're only going to need a few seconds off P1, if anything. Now going to go ahead and jump into lights, pick up some more kills because the rampage might as well continue. Make it 35-19 for Cynical. He wants another set of streaks before this one's over. As it seems like it will be.
When you're so good with the gunplay, why even bother bringing in air support? Cynical, the man, myth, and legend, shuts down map number 1, and OSU Scarlet win it 250-147 in the end.
So it's a little bit of what we weren't expecting, right? We were talking about the submachine gun play, and sure, it was there. Dr. Round, don't get me wrong, has a huge role in this win, but it's this guy we're watching right now, and Cynical, who had the slaying power all game long, ends up getting those streaks that do pick up a couple kills on a rotation, but really it was all with his gun that he had the biggest effect on that game. OSU Scarlet, as predicted, comes out with the map 1 win, and we'll head into, I believe it's Moscow Search and Destroy. We'll see if that changes anything for WVU.
Yeah, going to be heading into the Moscow SND. But one more point I wanted to make before we got there is Cynical is, at least if, as long as none of these guys changed their name from last season, he's the only returning member for OSU. So there is a lot riding on him. He is the experienced guy. I would assume he is the captain off of that. And to come out with such a big performance, go over the 2KD, drop more than 30 kills, you just start to get your team revved up and following you. And now for WVU, it all comes down to having a very big Moscow SND. You need to shut down all the momentum you just gave up to even have a chance of getting this one back in your favor.
Yeah, you make a great point. The captains in this league really do play a massive role. I think it was Mr. J Pistachio last night for UTD Dallas was going for almost 50 kills in a game of hardpoint. Those kind of things from your captain, the guys who have the experience, who have been in these positions before, they're used to it. They're more comfortable, right? They don't have those pregame jitters that you might have if it's your first year in the league. So coming out and having a performance like that is obviously going to be huge. And I mean, I'm thinking about it during the game. You bring up how streaks are back and how important it is to get a kill on when they start streaking. And I know Assassin is a perk in the game, and I've never found it to be viable because, you never really needed to know who was on a streak, I guess. But I almost see Assassin now as being a huge second perk if you could run it, because then on your minimap, it'll tell you who's on a kill streak. I don't know if you had any thought on that, Morgan, but it's something I was thinking about.
That's a point I never thought of. One just kind of out in the wild. The type of thing only a caster can come up with, but I like it. Mostly because for those teams that have that fourth man role player, not really a slayer, the guy that's just kind of sitting on the point doing what he can, he might not be putting to good use that second streak all about combat. So give him the one for information. Figure out where the guy who is on that streak is. And yes, it sucks to give up an artillery, but if you can keep them from getting to a cruise missile because of that, that could really change the game. So nothing I've thought about before, but now that that's kind of in the back of the minds of some of these players, I definitely wouldn't be surprised if people start trying it out.
Yeah, use your engineer, maybe throw on assassin. You can really give your team a lot of useful information in a lot of situations. I don't know, just a thought I had, something that
it would probably be really good for 2 weeks and then get GA. But until then,
exactly.
It would be really great to watch. But before then, we are going to be heading into Moscow SND for the map number 2. I think it is well known that the site people like to hit is at the top of the escalators over on A. And personally, that puts a lot of pressure on the SMG players, because you see guys slide in right behind that cover and then look to take very close, very quick, snappy firefights. Who are you really favoring going into this matchup?
I mean, I like to root for an underdog. I have to, again, I think lean towards OSU, and you make a great point that this is really a game mode and a map where you can't hide your efficiency with your gun. Like, you have to have your gunny. You have to have your confidence. It's where the COD egos really shine. Like, if you're not jumping out, taking those challenges with full confidence, expecting to win the gunfights, you're simply not going to win the map. It's one where you make the point towards A. Defenses can get aggressive to shut down a push. I almost like to see which team can take advantage of pushing towards B, maybe throwing a wrench in the game plan and catching your opponent off guard. But obviously, A is the more favorable bomb site. We'll see what these teams do here. I think I have to lean towards OSU Scarlet just because of that slaying power. But again, we'll get to see exactly what happens in just a couple moments.
Yeah, loading into map number 2, and I think I'm on the same side of you. I really love to root for underdogs, but the only guy that showed up there in map number 1 was Kelly for the side of WVU. He has to continue slaying at this level and just hope that someone meets up with him. But if it happens in the way that I see time after time again, where your hot hand starts to cool off just when someone else starts to heat up as well, you can never really get over the top of that hill. Here we are, though. OSU Scarlet going to be starting from the attacking side and immediately going against our analytics, looking for a B side, bottom of the map hit until Dr. Round rotates just a little bit back to watch out a window.
Yeah, I mean, you really can get in the mind of your opponent on this map and search and destroy. Like, you see these two players on your mini map over towards B, and already the blue team starting to rotate because they haven't seen anything at A. Now, as we're seeing, this might be a chance to go ahead and go to A. You got the number advantage. There's only one player watching it right now. If Rush were able to get this kill, he could get all the information for his team. You can show B on this map and then rotate back to A. There's just so many different ways you can try to get a life advantage, I guess, when you try to make a push. But right now, Bruford is going to be so important this round. Just got the information on the bomb carrier. Will he be ready for this second player? He will, but the shots just don't come through. But Valley's there for help. Phantom as well. Valley in a tough spot right now. Dr. Round picking up the kills. It's getting crazy as they trade things out on the B site. Phantom will pick up the bomb, and it looks like he's going to lay it rush all by himself. Can't pick up the kill on Bruford. And that is going to do it for the round. I was a little confused by the delay, but that's going to do it. Ends up being a team deathmatch with no respawns. WVU with the round 1 win.
Yeah, but I mean, we talked about how big trigger discipline was, how it was so fun to watch in the hard point. Now it matters on SND, and Bruford putting it to great use, gets the information on 2 players, doesn't get the kill, but a lot of damage. That Valley just cleans it up. Yes, it was a little bit ugly that Dr. Round ended up winning the ensuing 1v1, but it's already the hill was sliding in favor of WVU. They take that first round, and they are doing exactly what they need to get back into this game.
Yeah, I respect the hit to B too. Like first round, maybe when your opponent might not be expecting it, I totally respect that. We'll see what the offense does on this round. If they opt to go for a similar strategy, or if they go for something else. Nobody headed towards A right now, and it looks like, again, we might be seeing another B hit. And it's going to be up to number 2 on your minimap for OSU Scarlet to kind of shut this one down. Dr. Round will be the first line of defense.
Anything you can do, I can do better. That's the mindset for WVU right now. And Dr. Round right behind. Got the information onto Bruford. Now jumping out of the window. Phantom falls, and that is bombed down right on top of the SMG for OSU Scarlet. He will get traded back, but a much more awkward position as all of these Buckeyes are rotating across. It's Trev with eyes over the middle of the map, but he actually gives up that angle, backs up, and gives the chance for WVU to pick up the bomb. Bruford inside of the window over on the bomb site. All the way around comes Valley, and even though it was an exciting initial play, I still think WVU are in a good position right now.
They are absolutely in a good position. I will say OSU Scarlet set up pretty well here, just holding down all the different exit points from B right now as the kills start to come in. Really going to be up to whether or not they can get this bomb down, but Rush has it on lock. Valley thinking about making the push. Gun pops out around the corner. Rush puts in some shots, but smartly is going to just play for the life, knowing that they have to get the plant down. Does Valley pick up on it, though, that this is his chance to plant? Instead, he'll run out to the closet, and it doesn't look like a plant will come in. So now you start to play the kills, right? Cynical picking up 1, but it's all up to the blue team to try to get the kills. They won't do it, and OSU Scarlet just play the clock there. Really, really smart round to tie this one up.
Absolutely right. The clock was becoming a huge issue there in the final moments, and the call was made for WVU to go for kills instead of the plant. These OSU members are just too good in 1v1s to try and take them down in that regard. And so now that we're tied up going into round number 3, it's been a defender's favored map thus far. Whoever can get this first break on the offense really could be the difference maker. One thing interesting there is we got to see some of those loadouts. XM4 only on the side of, I believe that was WVU, already can't remember, but that gun's been a good mid-range option and very popular here on Moscow as we get our first A-side hit around the corner. Kelly going to be kicking things off with a shot onto Cynical.
This is a huge position, too. This outer wall, you can kind of do exactly what Kelly's doing, playing that snake, popping the head up like a gopher, playing whack-a-mole, I guess I should say. Kelly with a couple of huge kills, and now it's a 2 versus 3 situation. It's just all up to one player here in Trev. And, you know, you're hitting over towards A. I mentioned it in the pregame. You just got to be more confident, I guess, if you're OSU Scarlet. Kelly, though, really was the one to shut down the push with that Krieg. That came up big. And the bomb is down over at A. This is just a tall task for Trev.
The entire point of an A-side hit is to have your SMG slide in very quickly to provide cover on that half wall. Doesn't happen, and so Kelly is allowed to free fire. Now Trev is able to get one back. It's a 2v1 with 27 seconds remaining. The bomb is in on this site, so it would come down to spotting out Kelly. Not gonna happen, and the triple kill is big on the side of WVU's MVP. Here we get to see that double kill to kick things off. Cynical just never really had a chance. A nice cheeky angle there for Kelly, and then once you push forward, Dr. Round is the person supposed to be watching this. You see right there, hidden behind the corner, didn't even pull the trigger to answer back.
Yeah, and it's something we talk about all the time with the GAs in place right now. No smokes, no snipers. It makes hitting any bomb site really difficult, but you made the great point that if you're going to hit A, your SMG players just have to absolutely fly at the defense and just hope you can win the trades. I mean, it's your only option if you're going to hit A. You can't do it passively, right? It has to be an aggressive hit. And now it looks like WVU will try their hand at it, and we'll see exactly what shakes out as both teams headed towards A.
Yeah, Brefford left to cover the middle three-man push now for WVU to try and make that aggression work. 1-for-1 over on the side as Trev knocks down Phantom, immediately goes back. Another 2 for WVU, and all of a sudden they are up in the 2v1. Problem is, last man standing is Cynical, and we have seen what he is able to do. Spots Brefford on that cross, gets a little bit of damage, but that's just going to get healed back up. And him versus Kelly, what a shot out of Cynical! Finds the headshots, and Brefford knows when you do not challenge. This man is a demon, and he's actually going to go for the flank all the way, nearly, but Brefford stands tall with the 74U, and that is 3-1 for WVU.
Oh my goodness, we're going to get to see it again here, how, yeah, maybe the Krig got nerfed, maybe the headshot multiplier is not there, but I don't know. Cynical certainly seemed to get a benefit from it. Unfortunately, couldn't pick up that last kill, so the advantage in favor of WVU, and this is exciting stuff, Morgan. I'd like to see WVU win. I want to see a map 5 search and destroy, if I'm being honest. I haven't had one yet. I'm hoping for it. I got my fingers crossed. I'm hoping for it tonight.
Listen, the more I watch this, the more I'm thinking maybe this wasn't as lopsided as the hardpoint might have made it seem. I mean, Kelly is definitely there. Brefford is an analytical, cerebral player with the trigger discipline, with that flank at the end. They have their members. It's just a matter of putting it all together, and this SND is exactly right. Phantom, though, in a huge position. 1v4 is just going to get rushed down by Rush, but Valley answers with 2 quick ones. All of a sudden, Kelly is there, and the man advantage flips back in favor of WVU. Trev all alone, pinched down, and Kelly wants to close this one out.
Wow.
Will find it, and what a turnaround. Valley lighting him up.
I think it's safe to say these guys are locked in. We're going to get to see exactly what happened here. Valley with a huge 2-piece. Cynical comes out. Dr. Round gets hurt in the crossfire, and he will fall as well. Those are 2 massive kills. Then we saw Kelly pick up the 3rd, and all of a sudden it was a 2v1. That round, just when you thought OSU had it in the bag, got flipped on its head. Now a 4-1 score, so much different than it being 3-2.
I mean, look at the KDs on the side of WVU as well. Kelly, 7-3. Valley, 5-3. Brefford, 4-3. They are all finding their way positive. I can't really fault Phantom, who just found himself in a 1v4. He did what he can to just slow down the rush, and it paid out in favor of his team as well. For OSU Scarlet, I don't even know what's not working for them right now. They are just getting beaten in every aspect on some of these rounds. Rush in a very forward position to try and turn things, though. Round number 6 to get back the momentum on his side. Around the corner, spots out Kelly, gonna give up on the angle, drop back, and WVU were really slow playing this round.
Yeah, I think the game plan in this round was to try to hide over by A, maybe wait for your teammate or the opponents to rotate a little bit and then make your push. But Rush was there playing all the information. He could hear players sliding around that wall, probably calling it out to his teammates like, don't go anywhere. They're coming A, I have a feeling. And right now, just barely playing that life. Oh my goodness, that was almost catastrophic for OSU there, but Rush staying alive now is going to be in an important position as Dr. Round finds some kills in mid. Rush also finding one over at A, and it looks like this push for WVU is going to fall short, but I mean, it's an okay strategy, right? You try to hide a little bit and then make the late push at A, but it was just Rush who could hear the players through that wall getting all the information, and it comes up huge.
I mean, hide is a strong word. He looked around the corner, and Kelly was just standing there like, do we go yet, guys? Are we going yet? And so once that was sniffed out, there really wasn't a plan B on the side of WVU. And so that really turned around in favor of OSU Scarlet. Getting cheeky like that with some weird strategies, they're kind of a full send just proposition you make for yourself. It either works out or really doesn't. We saw the latter in that last round. Here we are coming from the defensive side, though. An aggression out of the B side on the defense. Look at Phantom rushing forward alongside with Valley. They want to wrap all the way around and get this pinch before the A site gets completely set up. Cynical sniffs it out, though, puts him down, and we're left in the 4v3 plant over by A.
That is a huge kill from Cynical. Kelly going to go ahead and make the live count 3-3. As the bomb goes down, Kelly has been so huge in this game. 8-4 to this point. Dr. Round pushing out the apartments, trying to be aggressive to hold down this push. He's got a player to his right, a player to his left, knocking down the player to the right. Bruford, who you challenge. Kelly, though, there with the trade, a nice wall bang. Rush is going to pick up Kelly, and now it's all up to Valley playing near the bomb. Still 22 seconds left to try to make something happen. He does get spotted out. Going to take some shots. Still being shot down to 58 health points right now. And this thing is just getting less and less probable as the time ticks away. Finally, the kill comes in, and it was a good effort from WVU to try to make that break. Phantom is probably going to think twice next time about the route he took. He might just take that extra bit of a longer route to get that drop on Cynical, but it was just a huge kill from Cynical at the start to slow down the push.
Yeah, great play out of him. And to have your best Slayer be watching a flank like that is just a little dirty out of OSU Scarlet. He melted through Phantom. All of a sudden, 2 straight rounds going over to the Buckeyes. They're back into this game for WVU. I think they need to find this round. They need the momentum back. If it gets tied up and OSU Scarlet have momentum and they are even on score with you, they have shown they know how to close out these games. You can see it out of WVU. They sense the desperation and they got the 4-man stack at the bottom of the map. Now it just comes through. Will they continue on the execution? Will they make the call to rush down the road? Cynical gets the information, and Valley spots him back, but not going to find any shots. There's one. There's 2. What a ridiculous angle out of Cynical to pick up the double.
This man's got the angles. And Dr. Round, what are you doing back bank right now? He's got a player stuck at the pillar. Is he going to pick up the kill? He's getting some help coming on the way. Does get the kill onto Bruford in time. Is he going to do it to him? He won't. Thought we might be getting a clip on worldstarhiphop.com. Instead, Phantom's there for the trade. But how about those sightlines from Cynical to start that round? You're exactly right. Desperation time for WVU. They know they need to win this round and try to close it out on defense in the next round. But Cynical was there for it, just playing some crazy angles. Phantom, though, it's not out of this just yet. It looks like he has the free plant today if he wants it.
Oh, he's going to clear out the back. But I'm wondering, is he going all the way? Is he going the distance? Really challenging. He is running back towards his opponents, and you got to plant at some point. Now he's going to try and stick it, and you can see OSU Scarlet wondering, rotating back across towards A. The plant comes down. They know it's over at B, and Phantom! Oh, it was so good, but it was obvious. Had no idea where the last 2 OSU members were sitting. I had dreams of the outplay. It just doesn't come to be.
Oh, Phantom might be kicking himself a little bit after this series if he watches back the VOD. Just pretty unfortunate, really. You saw both of those players headed towards A. They were thinking the bomb was going down, and then as soon as the bomb did go down at B, they snapped their heads back around and they pick up that kill. But we're seeing the start of this one. How big is Cynical hanging out under the bus stop? Man likes his public transportation, and he's using it to his advantage there. A cheeky sight line that, I mean, that's just where your knowledge and your map knowledge comes in so huge, right? If you have those spots in your arsenal, it's just going to give you that extra leg up on your opponents. You're seeing it there. It brings the game to a tie. I think you make a great point last round. That was one that WVU really, really needed because you can feel it. The momentum is back in the hands of OSU.
Yeah, and I mean, WVU's players have gotten stuck in a freezer. Valley and Bruford were 5-3, 4-3 respectively. Both have just died the last 3 rounds. Haven't picked up any kills to turn things in their favor. And that's a big reason WVU can't find anything. Aggression out of OSU Scarlet to kick this one out, taking all the way to past the midway point, get a lot of information and turn it back around over by A. That means Kelly, it is all up on you. The lone defender over here at the A bomb site has 3 members of OSU push in to try and down. Dr. Round is going to stick it, so now that's the information. Around the corner he comes in, stays alive. Kelly can't find it, and it's a clean 1-for-0. OSU now up a man. Phantom around the corner going to fall as well. 2-for-0. WVU falling apart here until Trev helps him out with a bit of a team kill. Flank around the backside, not going to happen. The last man standing's Valley.
Yeah, this is a tough one for Valley right here. Gonna go ahead and make the push. Almost gets the kill onto Rush. It just feels like these players from OSU are taking an extra bullet to kill. They don't die, and Cynical will pick up the angle and get the kill. And I mean, just to go back on kind of what just happened in that round, I feel like if you're WVU, you can't have only one player defending A. It's the bomb site that everybody's going to. You have to send a little bit more help to that bomb site. You had 2 players over at B. I think it's just a matter of a poor setup, I guess, on defense. I don't think that can happen. You can't have one player a day.
Yeah, I mean, it's awkward because of how OSU started that attack. They were so aggressive right through the middle of the map that it forced WVU to back off. They thought they were just going to continue rushing in towards B, but OSU hit the brakes, turn it around, go to A, and suddenly no one is left. I think just a very good tactic out of the Buckeyes, but here we go. Full aggression towards A now for WVU, going up against the 2-man defense of Rush and Dr. Round. See if anybody can find it. Slide around a corner there on the half wall, and Dr. Round able to knock down Bruford before he pulls the trigger. They will get the plant in return, so once you take it to the post-plant situation, it helps out the attacking side just a bit, but things start to fall apart. Dr. Round with his 2nd kill, Trev with the 3rd of the round, and Phantom all alone to get a clutch ace. Not gonna happen. OSU Scarlet win 5 straight, and they take map number 2.
Wow, and you're right. 5 straight when it was 1-4 there. I made a mention like how big of a difference 1-4 is compared to 3-2. It doesn't matter for OSU Scarlet. They're just going to go ahead and take 5 straight. They flip a switch there at that point in the game, and we see the plays from Dr. Round so huge, not only in slaying, but it felt like Dr. Round was impossible to kill. I think it was Kelly got the drop, puts a bunch of bullets into his back, but he just barely gets away with his life. And those kind of plays are huge and around a search and destroy playing your life. Just a really good showing for OSU there to flip the switch and turn that one right on its head. That was incredible. That was incredible.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what happened there in the last round. It was both Dr. Round and Rush kind of stuck behind that half wall, the stairs on the A site, and Brufford slid around the corner, had him lined up. I thought it was going to be a double kill, but
Yeah.
after emptying his whole mag, he just couldn't find it, and Dr. Round picked that up. I think that's the entire difference right there. If Brufford gets one or both of those kills, it is big advantage over to WVU. Doesn't happen, and their attack just falls apart.
Yeah, it's just so difficult too. If you're WVU, you start to get some momentum. You feel like you could take map 2, and then all of a sudden it's just right out the door. Like you said, you get thrown in a freezer. It feels like an OSU just comes back to take that one. Now all the momentum in favor of Scarlet going into map 3. Another Garrison hardpoint, if I'm not wrong, where you just got the win in
Control.
map 1. Oh, I'm sorry, control. That was foolish. But yeah, back to Garrison where you just got to win in map 1. You got to feel pretty comfortable on that. Cynical, I'm sure, is feeling pretty good in the seat. Probably just drinking some more G Fuel, getting ready for map 3. And that's what we're doing too. We'll go ahead and start to break this one down.
Yeah, and as much as I don't want to give up on the hopes of WVU, it really felt like SND was their mode there for a good amount of time. They were looking like the better team over Ohio State, and they pick up that map. Suddenly, I'm like, maybe they take this control. Maybe they take us to a map number 5 and they have a chance. But to go against 2 straight respawn modes after how one sided the hard point was, it's going to be very difficult if the WVU guns don't start stepping it up right out of the gates.
You're definitely right. And I mean, I some of my favorite series wins are when you win map 2, 3, and 5, and you're winning the strategical game modes, and you're not necessarily getting it done with your slaying power.
Mhm.
I would have liked to see WVU do that there, but and I will say as well, in all the matches I think I've casted so far for the CCL, the team that won 3-1 ended up losing the control. So I mean, the odds are somewhat in favor of WVU to get this map. Garrison control is a difficult one that can, again, be based on the odds. Do you get that final defense in round 5? If it makes it that far, we'll have to see. But at this point, just throw everything out the window if you're WVU. Back to square one. Get that ego back. Again, you need to have that COD ego. Every challenge you take, you need to feel like you're going
Mhm.
to win it. Think you're the Scump or the Dashy of the world. You can't lack confidence in this game or in esports in general. You just have to have it.
Yeah, and I mean, you're right. We've seen, especially over on Bravo stream in week 1, there were a couple teams that really got beat bad map number 1, really got beat bad map number 2, and then they 3-0'd their opponent on
Yeah.
control. There's just something about this mode that really clicks with some teams and doesn't with others. I know it's kind of listed as a respawn mode right there with Hardpoint because you have the rolling respawns coming through, but with 3 overall win conditions for the squads to fight over, there's a lot of different strategies you can go to, and the moment to moment decision making can really make a difference in those close ones. I think the only chance WVU has for this is to, I mean, first of all, when you're coming from the attacking side, you can't get stuck in that spawn trap. That's what OSU is going to be trying to do. That's what the better fragging team usually does on Garrison, is just push you back all the way to the attacking spawns. If they can avoid that and cap up on the B site first, kind of have some time to think about their attack by A, maybe they make something happen, but it's going to be a rough one.
You're right. It's so difficult to win an offense on this map. You got to start by getting B, and then you go over to where that P2 hard point is at A, and that's where you can things start to get a little more difficult. The setups can be there, but you're right. I mean, spawn killing is absolutely a way to win control. I like the way you said that. There's so many different ways to win this game mode. It's a more strategical one. And as well, it's one where game management really comes in huge. I think on the Alpha stream last week, we saw a team up 2-1. Instead of trying to win it in that round and close the game out, they opted to play for round 5 defense, and then they ended up losing. So it just goes to show that some of these decisions that you have to make as a team can come back to bite you. You might think that round 5 defense is all you need, but it can go, anything can happen in this game mode. And I think that's what makes it so special and so fun to watch.
Yeah, and as we wait for the go button to start on this lobby for everybody to load in, I mean, I think we're probably leaning the same way overall in which way this map is going to be coming out. But when it comes down to the rounds, do you think it is going to just be defense trades it back and forth? These teams are close enough that it'll just be whoever gets that defensive side, map number 5, they'll take it. Or are OSU going to be able to assert a little bit more dominance, push a little bit further ahead, maybe win this 3-1, 3-0? Or maybe I got you completely wrong. You're still in the side of WVU.
Yeah, you kind of got me perplexed right now. I'll be honest with you, Morgan, because you throw that idea in my head of spawn trapping, and now I'm like, oh, I really don't know if WVU has a chance. But I think we want to see them. I know we want to see them win. It's just a matter of maybe, yeah, whether or not you can get that round 5 defense. We'll see exactly if it goes that far. But I think I, again, have to kind of lean in favor of OSU. They just have the slaying power right now. They have the momentum from map 2. It's going to be tough to beat them if you're WVU. But I want to see it. I want to see it.
Well, you'll get to see it right now. Finally, are loading into map number 3. It is the Garrison Control, and it is match point for the side of OSU. Scarlet around the corner, already jumping in, and it's WVU coming from this attacking side, and you can see where Rush has found himself stuck after the halfway point. When he turns around to try and push onto these WVU members, it can get real ugly real fast. Finds the first kill onto Valley. Cynical right behind him. Rush gonna not pick it up onto Phantom, and all of a sudden, there's an opening on the bottom side of the map if WVU can get there.
That is a huge swing from Phantom there to pick up those 2 kills. Just when the spawn trap was on, he picks it up, opens things up for his team. Valley with another big kill. Just don't let yourself get stuck in the spawn. The clock is already dwindling down. You got to start to get on a point now. And at this point, I guess, with it only being 10 seconds left, this is when you kind of might start to play the lives and just try not to be getting killed off your spawn. Hide a little bit and try to push it to that round 5 if it makes it there. Just a really good showing from OSU Scarlet, though. Like you say, picking up from where they left off. Keeping the ball in WVU's court. And Phantom, though, able to get onto B, so maybe things not over just yet, but all the focus is going to come through from OSU Scarlet, and that'll be a pretty handily round 1 win.
Yeah, it was a lot right there. There was the good moment there in the middle from Valley. Picks up a double kill, and I thought maybe that opened up the path over to the site, but a very quick recovery out of OSU Scarlet, and they didn't show a single weakness there from the defensive side. Only let a man onto the point in those final 0.5 seconds when Kelly snuck through, and by that point, there's nothing you can really do. So the attacking side looks rough for WVU, but maybe now from defense, they can even it back up, turn it around. 7-1 for Trev just in the first round.
Yeah, that's a hot start on that 3-kill streak already, too. So like we talk about, gonna want to put some focus on that. But I think if you're WVU, just do exactly what OSU just did. Put the ball in the other team's court. Keep the pressure on them. Try to spawn trap them if you can. I know it's defense, but you're already down in the life advantage. If you're looking at round 5, trying to have defense, you need to get those lives back in favor of your team. And it's not a good start when Cynical's back up the top catwalk, picking up kills. He has just been absolutely beasting all throughout the series, up to 5-4. You're right, Trev still 7-1. He needs to die for WVU because you can't afford to have the other team getting streaks. Dr. Round here, gonna go ahead and pick up a kill on Kelly. And already the B capture already starting to come in. This is not looking good for WVU.
So Cam, remember when I said that some teams it just clicks on control and some teams they just don't get it? I like to see that when it is the team behind that clicks, but right now it looks like the team that's ahead is really getting this mode. B flag almost capped all the way up. Cynical making a play by A to try and do it all on his own. And right there, Valley gonna take down his own teammate on the Semtex. They had a 2v1 against Cynical, but he manages to stay alive, is solo holding this A site, and WVU rushing in, the Diamati right to the face. Cynical with the highlight reel disrespect play to end up winning rounds 2, and OSU they've decided they've already won this game. That's the way they are playing some of these angles.
We're gonna get to see it again. I was gonna say maybe just ban this guy to only using his pistol, but obviously that's not gonna work either. This is an all pistol best play. Picks up the 3-piece with the Diamati. I personally can't shoot this gun straight, so credit to Cynical. He's been shooting everything straight so far tonight. And I mean, that is just insane. It's one guy on the point, and you can't take him down. You mentioned it's a 2v1. It doesn't matter. It's almost like a 2v4 with Cynical over there because he's like 4 players in and of himself, up to 9-4, 6 kill streak, trying to get those streaks. And I noticed that last round, Trev was up to 6. He ended up nading himself, so kind of helping WVU a little bit to not pick up the first artillery. But now it seems like his teammate Cynical is next up to try to get some streaks.
Yeah, and it's all just kind of falling apart now for WVU. They had a chance to break by that A site, and the team kill shuts it down. Cynical playing this angle very aggressively and has both streaks in hand. I would expect those to be coming out if there is even a chance of WVU taking this game in their favor, and they do make a good push over by A, making it out through comms to get progress on that site, and here it comes. Oh, the cruise missile shutting down anything that WVU can get set for themselves. Gonna find the one onto Valley. Next man up is over by B, and OSU Scarlet are still looking good on this defensive side.
Yeah, that's so unfortunate. You finally start to get a bit of a break, get some players on the point, and then the streaks come in and completely shut that down. But here's a good push over towards B. 2 ticks come in. Bruford holding down the front of lights, an important position to be in. But Trev here trying to put a stop to that. Nice kill comes in, though, from Kelly. So still, B is going to get captured.
Yeah.
A good start for WVU. It's not over just yet. They got the life advantage. They got B. Now comes the hard part, getting over to A and trying to find control. You have to think OSU has their setup intact. We'll get to see.
I mean, you know what, Cam? Let's kind of take some of these last rounds out of our heads. If we look at this on its own, it's 26-20 lives in favor of WVU. They capped up B. They have a minute and a half left. Things aren't looking too bad for West Virginia. It's going to be dependent on if they can get a good push out, and those 3 kills start to slow down any momentum they might have. Aggressive now is Dr. Round right through the middle of the map. I don't think he got spotted out either by the man on top of the tank. It goes 2 for 1 in the moment, and Rush adds another. Rush gets the double kill. It's up to 3 on the life. Everyone for OSU Scarlet really looking positive in those ADs, and with a minute left, it is only a 1 respawn lead for WVU. It is all starting to fall apart from that good start.
These OSU submachine gun players do such a good job of being ratty and snaky, getting out ahead of the enemy lines and being behind your opponents. It's like, I'm getting shot in the back right now. How could this be possible? And it's because Dr. Round and Rush are getting in deep, getting behind, and you're seeing it still. Round not even letting Bruford get into dark. It's just like so difficult, I feel, for WVU to get any momentum going when you're being pressured this much. You got Trev underneath floating tank, like deep in the opponent's spawn. OSU have just had the control in this game, and 30 seconds left. WVU, it's starting to look a little bit difficult at this point.
Yeah, see if they can make a final play. Most forward member of WVU is Kelly through the middle of the map, waiting for his teammates to help him out, but Rush is not going to let any reinforcements come through. He saw Kelly there for a second, but is more worried about these guys fresh off of their respawns, just distracting. 10 seconds remaining means WVU can't even make the sprint over there. You're playing for pride, not prize, right here, right now, and it is not even going to be that prideful. OSU Scarlet put down a few more kills. They win it 3-0, map number 3. And 3-0 in our first game of the night.
Just as some momentum started to go WVU's way, OSU just flips that switch again that we saw in map 2 and puts a close to this one. A lot of it has to do with this player right here, Rush. You can see it so far in enemy lines, picking up the kills off spawners. Phantom doesn't even know he's there, because why would you expect him to be there? These OSU players are really just on top of it tonight, playing with the aggression like you like to see if you're playing esports, the momentum in their favor. Those are the important things, right? You got to be playing confident. You got to be playing like you're the better team, and they were doing exactly that tonight.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to be really interested to see how these two teams shake out when it gets near the end of the split, because when you really look at it overall, I think there were good moments in that game for WVU, especially on the search and destroy. They came out relatively hot on hardpoint as well, up until each team had about 100 points. It was very close. Excuse me. And it was just later into that map that things kind of started to go in favor of OSU. So if OSU ends up being one of the better teams here in their division, then maybe, just maybe, WVU can sneak into that top half after split 2. But if it ends up being that OSU sticks kind of more around the middle, then WVU are probably going to have to be playing for those last few spots into qualifiers. And that's when they'll have to try and focus up a lot. What I'm trying to get at is I liked what I saw today. It just wasn't quite enough to overtake a good team.
Yeah, and I think if you're WVU, you look on that map too, you're up 4-1. It's a moment where you kind of maybe just let the pedal up a little bit. You got to keep the pedal to the metal, though, I think is the lesson learned there. Just when you get a lead, that's not the time to start to let up. You got to just go ahead and stomp out the rest of the neck, close it out there, and try to get that map too, which would have been so huge. We know they would have started to get some momentum. I really think that was the turning point in this series for OSU to go ahead and win 5 straight rounds in that search and destroy. That's what did WVU in the end, and it's just unfortunate. But I think it's a learning curve, I guess, if you're WVU. Go back to the drawing board, watch the VOD, and hopefully you'll be better next week.
Yeah, but looking forward to the next game we have on stream. It's gonna be a battle of the state. Florida coming through, Florida State University versus Full Sail University. And we're gonna be sending you guys over to a couple great casters, McCornmeal and Proper Cast, coming through to take care of you all fine folks. For the moment, me and Cam are gonna be taking a small break as everything gets switched up, come across. But stick around, we have plenty more good Call of Duty action here for the night, and everyone's going to be taking good care of you all. We'll see you all very soon.